When the relationship or marriage ends, you will usually find yourself falling in one of the following categories, if you were the one who didn't want things to end. My first category is known as the negotiator. As the negotiator, several other elements falls underneath the same umbrella. When your ex broke the news to you that he or she no longer wanted the relationship or marriage to continue on, you begged and pleaded for your ex to stay and even promised to do better within the relationship, even if you weren't at fault for the relationship coming to an end to begin with. If there was a certain amount of time in place that prevented the relationship or marriage from ending on the spot, whether it was because the two of you shared a house or an apartment together, but the lease hadn't expired yet, up until the very moment that particular time frame expired, you spent the majority of it trying to desperately convince your ex to fight for a relationship or marriage that he or she quite honestly, emotionally left a long time ago. The way that you can tell that this assessment of mine is true is by paying close attention to how you're the one who is trying to hold on to a lost love that's no longer there, while your ex is making it crystal clear to you in an extremely cold, sometimes harsh way that he or she could care less about how you feel or what you have to say. 9 times out of 10, when this is the response that you are receiving, your ex most likely already has the person in mind of who they see as being your replacement in place, or at least your ex believes that this is the case. But I'll follow up on this later on, so be sure to stick around until the end of this video content. Then there's another group of people who I will refer to as being the exceders. A person who accedes to your requests, or in other words, agrees, will do so for various reasons. One example is the person who accedes to the request of ending the relationship may have wanted the relationship or marriage to end as well. The person just didn't have it in him or her to break the news to their partner, or just couldn't figure out how to go about doing so. So when their partner breaks the news to them that he or she no longer wants to remain together, and is how the recipient of this news was feeling anyways, it makes it easy for this type of person to agree. The same applies to a person who is being abused within the relationship or marriage. Typically, the abused is desperately seeking a way out and escape from the abuser. Unless the abuser has an extremely powerful soul tie to the person who is being abused, meaning the abused person will still want to stay in the relationship even if an exit route is being presented, usually the person who is being abused will gladly accede to the idea of ending the relationship. It puts the person who has been abused for however long on the pathway of being able to take the necessary steps that's required in order to heal. Also, there are those who may still love their ex and vice versa, but the two parties will mutually agree that they're just not in love with one another anymore. In these rare situations, both parties will accede to going their separate ways without becoming bitter enemies. However, for the sake of this video, I'm going to focus on when a relationship or marriage ends because your ex believed that he or she was about to upgrade from you. Whenever you're discarded, let's face it, it's rarely ever an easy pill to swallow. The mere thought of the person who you spent countless amounts of hours, months, or even years with, now sharing those precious moments with someone else, is more than enough within itself to keep you up at night. Then your mind will be flooded with the visual of your ex being intimate with the new person in the same manner that he or she was with you. In some cases, with your child or children being in the very next room. These are the thoughts that are tormenting when a relationship first ends, but you didn't want it to. However, when you allow things to play itself out like it's supposed to, despite how painful it may be mentally, physically, and psychologically, things can drastically shift in an entirely different direction than how you assumed that it would play out. That's why I believe that how you conduct yourself when the relationship ends plays a crucial role on the amount of power that you will eventually gain going forward. What do I mean by that? If you fell in the category of being the negotiator when your ex broke up with you, it will cause your ex to honestly believe that he or she can easily circle right back around to you if things doesn't work out with the new person like your ex thought that it would. In your ex's mind, he or she will remember how badly you begged and pleaded for him or her to stay in the relationship with you, ultimately making your ex feel superior over you. But if you took the road of acceding to your ex's request of ending the relationship or marriage without putting up a fight or trying to convince your ex to stay, a tremendous amount of power lies within taking this stance. When and if things doesn't work out for your ex and their new person, and your ex attempts to manipulate his or her way back into your life, this will be the perfect time for you to remind your ex that it was his or her idea to end what the two of you had. And by this time, hopefully, you will have already moved on with your life, causing your ex to now experience the same pain that you had to battle with. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share my content with others to help push it throughout the algorithm. And I'll catch you all on the next video.